Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So today I'm going to be reviewing this new CoverGirl foundation. It's the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation with vitamins. It also has an SPF of 20 in it. So I was really excited about this because it kind of reminded me of like the Bourjois Healthy Mix I just got while I was over in the UK. And since we can't really buy that in drugstores here, I was really excited when I saw kind of like a healthy mix type of a formula come from CoverGirl. So before we get into it, the main claims for this foundation are that it's lightweight, full coverage, oil-free, and that it has an SPF of 20, as well as obviously the healthy vitamin mix. And right off the bat, though, I think the packaging was a good idea because of the pump. Every single foundation that I saw in the store had a broken top. So this top won't stay on here because it's cracked on both sides, and every foundation I saw in the store had a cracked lid. So that's an immediate downside that I saw when I was shopping for this. The other thing that I noticed is the color selection wasn't the best. There weren't very many neutral or yellow undertones, which is what I need. There was a lot of like pinky undertones, especially with the lighter shades. So the color selection wasn't the best. Packaging, not a huge fan of, but I am extremely excited about the formula and all of the claims. So if you guys enjoy these first impressions, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and turn on the alerts by clicking the little bell next to it. But with that, let's go ahead and get into the first impression and wear test. Okay, so I'm just gonna pump some of this on the back of my hand. As usual, I'm gonna be using a sponge on one half of my face and a brush on the other half just to compare the finish. I'm gonna start with the sponge. I'm using the L'Oreal foundation sponge. I'm not sure that this will be a color match for me, but it was the closest I could find. Let's give it a whirl. Looks like a pretty good match. It smells kind of like my moisturizer smells. It's not a bad smell. It kind of smells like a skincare product, not like a foundation. It doesn't have that paint smell that some foundations have. Okay, so with the one layer, I would say it's a light to medium coverage. It's a beautiful finish. It feels kind of tacky to the touch. I'm gonna go in with one more layer just right here in my problem area and see if I can build it up. So that definitely built it up a little bit. It doesn't look cakey. It still looks really nice and luminous. Let's go ahead and do this side with my Morphe M439 brush. Okay, so just right off the bat, I definitely prefer the sponge application over the brush application. I feel like on this side, it's clung to some dry patches I have on my face, whereas on this side, it looks nice and luminous and even though I do have a couple of dry spots over here as well. It has oxidized pretty significantly just in these last couple of minutes, so I'm definitely gonna need to take this down my neck. Okay, we're looking better now that I've taken it down my neck. We have some matching going on. Just very, very first impressions. Definitely oxidizes pretty significantly. It does not look like a full coverage foundation as it claims to be, but it does feel very lightweight on the skin. I definitely prefer the side with the sponge application, especially with my dry patches on my face. And I'm pretty impressed by how lightweight it feels, even though it is pretty thick in consistency and has an SPF of 20. So I'm excited to see how it wears throughout the day. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. So I did set my foundation with my favorite Rimmel Stay Matte powder just to try and control the oil, control the shine throughout the day, and everything blended seamlessly on top of it. I did use a powder blush and a powder bronzer, so that should help keep oil at bay as well. So no immediate issues other than the fact that I don't think it's full coverage and it did oxidize pretty significantly, but I'm gonna see how it wears throughout the day and I will be back to check in later. Hey guys, so I'm back. It's been a little over 8 hours and as you guys can see, no surprise, I am very oily, but I'm not any more oily than I usually get at the end of the day if I don't touch up a foundation at all, especially one that doesn't claim to be mattifying. So even though I do look super oily in my T-zone, the usual places, my cheek area on both sides looks pretty much untouched. Like you can still see my bronzer, you can still see my blush, everything stayed intact really, really well. There's a little mark here from where my sunglasses were on when I went and ran some errands. There's a little bit of buildup of product around my nose where I got oily, but other than that, I'm really impressed by how well this held up, especially with how oily my skin is, and the fact that this doesn't necessarily claim to be a long-wearing foundation. I've seen foundations that claim to be long wearing that don't last this well on my skin. So I am overall pretty impressed by the wear of this foundation. So my final thoughts, the negatives of the foundation are mainly the things I said when I was first applying it. First of all, the packaging of this is a total miss. These caps break extremely easily. They were all broken in the store where I went. It oxidizes pretty badly, and I felt like the color selection for people with more of a neutral or yellow undertone like me wasn't the best. And I don't agree with the claim that this is a full coverage foundation. Even with the second layer, it wasn't completely full coverage, but I do think you could build this up to a high medium coverage. Things I do like about it, I like that it has an SPF of 20 in it. I always like some added sunscreen when I'm wearing foundation in the summer especially. I really love that it has the vitamin mix in it, vitamin E, B3, B5, and the fact that it is also hydrating to the skin. And best of all, I really am impressed by how well it wore for over 8 hours running errands. It's really hot outside, and it held up on my face really well. Obviously, if you're oily skin like me, you're gonna get really oily with this foundation. It's not a mattifying one, but I think had I blotted throughout the day and actually touched up throughout the day, I would be really happy with the way that it looks. So I'm definitely gonna probably wear this foundation again. Even though it did oxidize, I'm only gonna get tanner, hopefully. So I think it'll work for my skin tone, but do keep that in mind as you're picking out your color match. So that is gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.